Mic check 1, mic check 2. I am here. I'm here. My apologies on the delay, but I am here. I'm here. I'm still setting up. I'm telling you, I'm glad it's Friday. I need this weekend. I need this weekend, guys. Oh, I need it. I need this weekend. Give it to me. Give it to me. All right. Now, if you're watching this on replay, take advantage of the chapters so you can go to the start of the live stream. I should have said that sooner. My apologies. When I'm all over the place, I miss little details and stuff like that. It's been a crazy day. This SpaceX thing has been wild, son. It's been wild. They won't shut up about it. Which is more. We're going to cover this. We're going to talk about it this weekend on the weekly recap live. That has got to be one of the things we cover, because it was definitely something notable that happened this week was SpaceX. So I'm cleaning my desk off, getting situated. Did the yard today. Getting darker, being out here in the sun. I don't look that bad. Maybe it's the lighting. I be feeling like I'm getting baked out there. But yeah, we got the yard done. Well, I took care of it. Pulled up the weeds and the flower bed and all that other good stuff. Had a good day in the market. It was interesting, man. It's been a lot of what I see as manipulation going on in some of these smaller, these lower price stocks. I wouldn't say smaller, but just lower priced. These lower price stocks are being heavily manipulated. And it's like, it's a magic trick happening. Everybody focused on this over here or over there. And then money's moving in other parts of the market that people unaware of because the news ain't talking about it. So if the news ain't talking about it, you have to be actively looking at the charts yourself to find these opportunities. They're not going to fall in your lap. And then I'm even seeing they know what you're looking for. Like what I mean, when the candles appear on a chart, whether that's a weekly chart or a daily chart, it's certain patterns you can set your scanner to look for, and they can make it where certain patterns won't even appear. You have to actually be looking. You got to actually go in the chart and open it up and dive into how that candle was formed. Wasn't any large orders that came through and things like that. It's not as obvious as it used to be because they know what you're looking for. So I have this new thing where I have said that there's an unspoken rule that institutions make money and retail traders lose. It's an unspoken rule. So anytime you have retailers making too much money, watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Thank you for tuning in. I'm still setting up. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I greatly would appreciate it. I will be starting very shortly. My apologies for being a little bit behind, but we're going to have a good show. And if you can't stick around all night and all that other good stuff, just make sure you tune in this weekend at 9 p.m. Eastern time for the weekly recap live. That way we'll be going over everything that stood out and that we covered for this week. Okay. So at bare minimum, do that. Hope you guys had an awesome day. Hope you had a great day in the market. And I'm setting the prompter up right now. So once I get this script loaded, we can go ahead and get rolling, guys. Missed you last night. Glad to be back. Got my notifications right now. Hey, Hunter, what's up, man? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Hope you had a good day in the market. Appreciate the comment. And I'm actually going to be reviewing your comment that you gave the other day talking about futures. Since you had mentioned that last time, I've been doing some research to look more into how futures operate, because I've heard about them, but I've never traded them. And I wanted to find out more about how they work and things like that, so we could discuss that a little bit more on the weekend. So the weekly recap live, I was going to talk about that comment that you had made about appreciating the fact that we cover companies and we not just focused on futures. So I'm glad to see that you're here and all that other good stuff. Hope you had an awesome day too. Yeah, I got tied up a little bit talking to the wife about SpaceX. I was listening to some news on Yahoo Finance, looking at what they were saying about it. And what's blowing my mind about SpaceX is that the company is not even profitable right now. They're not even making money. That's an insult to all the other companies that's valued over $1 trillion that took time to actually become profitable, grow, expand, like to have to go through the actual process of building the company up while they're public. They allowed SpaceX to skip all of that. That's crazy. They allowed them to just skip all of that. Everything I'm hearing about why somebody's interested in buying this company, it's a story. It's not anything about how much money they're going to make. It's a story. They're going to put a data center around the Earth. They're going to put a data center in orbit. They want 1 million people living on Mars by a certain time. Like, everything is stories. I'm like, nah. Well, the stock went up. So does balloons. Balloons go up, they come back down. That don't mean anything. The stock went up in one day. Whoop-dee-doo, whoop-dee-doo. Okay, what we got? Great. I'll be listening. And even if I'm not active. Okay, awesome. Glad to hear it. No, they are not. I missed it because I was running my mouth. No, they are not. As far as like profitable, I said a few things. Stories for real. Yeah. It's all stories, man. That's one of the things that I learned over the time of me actually paying attention to the market and investing in trading. Stay away from stories. You don't need, when the numbers are good, you don't need a story. You don't need a story. One of my digital mentors is Jim Rohn, and he talked about like evaluating the employee. And he was like, how many clients have you talked to? And then the guy starts talking, like trying to explain. He's like, look, I ain't asked for a story. I just need to know how many clients you talked to this week. Give me a number. That's all I need. Give me a number. All right. Here. My bad. I clicked the wrong button. I see what's going on. I got the script up. I'm about to proofread a little bit of it right quick, and then I'm gonna get started, guys. I appreciate you for being patient. Sound is good. Go back and put the chat thing back up. 3 people tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I greatly would appreciate it. Let's get the charts pulled up. Man, I didn't realize how behind I was till I started setting all this stuff up. Oh my gosh. All right, nah, we want the financial stuff down here, not the chat poll. There we go. Educational purposes, main. Okay, proofread the script. So you might know them better. Chewy, Cohen, might use it. All right, looking good, guys. It's looking good. It's looking good. So let's go ahead and get started. Appreciate your patience. Appreciate your patience. Here we go. Oh my. Earnings. Got it. All right. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God, it's Friday, guys, and I need a break. I need this Saturday coming up. Oh my goodness. All right. So tonight we're taking a look at ticker Chewy. Chewy, CHWY. I shouldn't have read it. I should have just spelled it out. Tonight we are taking a look at ticker CHWY. You might know them better as Chewy. Chewy Incorporated was founded in 2011 by Ryan Cohen and Michael Day, with the first office opening in Dana Beach, California. Now, they are publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange and have a market value over $7 billion. Yes, that's a B, billion dollars. Chewy is in the specialty retail industry in the consumer discretionary sector, and they are not listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Chewy's competitors are Petco Health and Wellness Company, ticker WOOF, WOOF. Bark Incorporated, ticker BARK, and Fresh Pet Incorporated, ticker FRPT. We're going to review Chewy's earnings, their website, and pull up the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you are tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you are tuning in from Facebook. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. Let's go to these earnings. Bada boom, bada bang. Hey, that was smooth. I'm glad that didn't give me no problems. Now let's get through the rest of this script. All right, here we go. Chewy, ticker symbol CHWY, the $7.9 billion company, reported its first quarter earnings on Wednesday, June 10th. They have a 52-week high of $43.84, which took place on June 26th, and a 52-week low of $18.22 that also occurred on Wednesday, June 10th, which is a trading range of $25.62. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's wrong. I'm glad I caught it. That is wrong. That is wrong. Today, that 52-week low was on June 12th. That's Friday. That's today, guys. That's today. Let me fix that, and we're going to do this one more time. Let me go back to the main. This 2 days in a row. This is 2 days in a row. Wednesday, June 10th. This is Wednesday. This is Friday, June 12th. That 52-week low was Friday, June 12th. That was today that they had that low of $18.22. Got it. Friday, June 12th. Let me scroll over this and make sure. Close the day at 19. Yep. Give her a 52-week low. Yep, we're good. We're good. Let's go back to the top of the earnings, guys. That's 2 days in a row. We had to do the earnings twice. Hey, I'd rather be accurate than sit up there and rush through it and play like everything is right. No, it's not. It's wrong. Let's get this right. Here we go from the top. Chewy, ticker symbol CHWY, the $7.9 billion company, reported its first quarter earnings on Wednesday, June 10th. They have a 52-week high of $43.84, which took place on June 26th, and a 52-week low of $18.22 that occurred Friday, June 12th, which is a trading range of $25.62. They closed today at $19.31. Chewy earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $3.4 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $3.3 billion, and beat on the bottom line as intense reoccurring revenue from their auto ship subscription program combined with operational fulfillment efficiencies drove record profitability. EPS was higher than the analysts and market expectations of 24 cents when they reported an adjusted EPS of 43 cents. Chewy reported a GAAP net income of $94.8 million, which was higher than the $62.4 million net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 51.92%. So for the first fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 34.18% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released before the market opened, followed by an 8 a.m. Eastern Time conference call. As far as guidance, management lowered its full fiscal 2026 targets, projecting total revenue up to $13.6 billion. That 52-week high compared to today's closing of $19.31 represents a decline of 55.95% over a span of approximately 11, oh my gosh, over a span of approximately 11 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in June at that 52-week high of $43.84, they would be seeing a loss of $559.53. All right, if you don't know, I use this to make YouTube shorts and Facebook reels and things like that. So I want to go back so I can make sure that this part is smooth. So bear with me. That 52-week high compared to today's closing of $19.31 represents a decline of 55.95% over a span of approximately 11 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in June at that 52-week high of $43.84, they would be seeing a loss of $559.53. Whew, we did that. All right, let's move on. You guys are awesome because y'all let me get it right. That's what we try and do. Let me get it right. All right. Here we go. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? We look for those answers in four main areas: the homepage for goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go visit Chewy's website. Let's go. Here we go. Bam. Make sure the right disclaimer is up. That's not the company we talking about right now. Chewy, add participant. That is not supposed to be there. Oh goodness, what is that? Oh, wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Something's on here. There we go. Remove. There we go. Good. All right. So we're on the home page of Chewy, and let me tell you something right here. Here's the top. Please don't tell. I think I did. Did I do the whole earnings with the wrong part of the? You know what? Tonight is something else. Anyway, when I looked at this company, I had no idea that this was all dealing with pets. I had no idea that this company was dealing with all pets, because it was a lot of companies dealing with food, and we not the only, our food ain't the only food that we buy at the grocery store. So they were doing earnings for companies dealing with food, and this was one of the companies that came up. But this company strictly deals with pet food. And you know, some people treat their pets better than they do their own kids. So that's where we are with Chewy. So what we're going to do, we're going to browse over this website, and everything we're going to click on, I believe, is going to be at the bottom. So I'll let you know when we get down there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. They even got stuff for horses, wild birds. Look at this, just all types of stuff, reptiles. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah. So if you into pets, look at him. Dog food, dog flea and tick, dog treats, cat food, cat litter. They got a pharmacy for the pets. They got apps, Dr. Chrissy, best gift for pets and dads. Okay. Look at all these toys. Oh man. Okay, we at the bottom. Thank gosh. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this website. All right, let me take me off the screen. And here we go. So we're going to go to about, we're going to go to investor relations, and we're going to go to jobs. So usually they say careers, but on their website, they say jobs. So let's go ahead and go to about, and let's keep it moving. Put me back on the screen. So about, for life with pets, pet parenting is a beautiful ride that can be as challenging as it is rewarding. At Chewy, we're here to take care of pets and the people who love them. Our mission is to be the most trusted and convenient destination for pet parents and partners everywhere. Guys, pet parents. See what I mean? I ain't never heard of that before. I ain't heard of it. Everything pets need, quality you trust, nose to tail care, always on hand. Shop any brand for any companion. Got it, got it, got it. A perk for every pet parent. All paths to pet health starts here. Okay, Chewy Health, got it. Explore vet tools. We are delivering the scale and convenience of e-commerce, but with the same high touch, personalized service you should expect of the best local neighborhood pet store. Got it. Cook, brother, cook. They do medication too. Yes, they do medication too. And let me tell you, Hunter, I have this app over here called Social Stream Ninja. If you know anything about this, man, please help me out, because what it's supposed to do is when a chat comes through from Facebook, let me double check and see if I can reset this. It says it's connected. So what's supposed to happen is, like, when you leave a comment, it's supposed to alert me so I can look, because it's over on the other screen. But thank you for the comment. So I'm not ignoring you. It's just that it's on the other screen. I just want to let you know that. So let me put the ticker thing back. Yeah, you'll be surprised. You will be surprised. That's why I love going to the websites and looking at this stuff to try to find out. We'll have an idea in our head about this much. You go to the website, we find out this much, and we don't have to go through the financials and read all the little fine print to find out what the company do. And then there's another well-known investor. He used to be a fund manager for Magellan. He was very successful. His name was Peter Lynch. So he was talking about actually going to the locations. So like actually going to these places you want to invest in. Like I had did that with Wingstop. I had actually went inside Wingstop and sat down and looked at how they ran the restaurant and things like that. So it's just better to get more information than to just follow headlines and things like that when it comes to looking for opportunities in investing and things like that. Okay, so we're at the bottom of the page. We went through, this was the about. So now we're gonna go to jobs. We can see that right here at the bottom. Bam, come on, load up. Here we go. Are we zoomed in? Yes, we are. Let's go to 150. All right, come transform the pet industry with us at Chewy. Our mission is to be the most trusted. We just read that, so that's why I stopped. Look at that big dog there, or is he close to the camera? I don't know. Customer care careers, veterinary careers, fulfillment center careers, pharmacy careers. So they're talking about the different divisions. We're interested in the benefits. So I'm gonna keep scrolling down and hopefully it jumps out. So here are the different departments for the different job opportunities that they offer. Human resources, that's a lot of different things for this company. All right, life at Chewy. We're proud to be an award-winning best places to work kind of place, one with a relentless focus on connection, community, and a constant commitment to our mission. They talk about their culture, perks, and benefits. Okay, we found it all the way at the bottom of the page. There's the benefits. Okay, so let's click here with learn more. So they talk about the culture and how Chewy gives back. So let's go to the benefits. Life at Chewy. We're building something pretty special here. This looks from, this is a different website. I'm reading like that because I'm like, this look familiar. We're building something pretty special here at Chewy, a supportive and inventive culture where you're empowered to stay curious, think big, and celebrate your uniqueness. So health and well-being, connection building, professional development, pet-friendly ways of working, team member discounts, community, and events. Our operating principles. You can click here to learn more. Also, links to these websites are down in the description for your convenience. Man, they got a lot of stuff on here. Team member resource groups. Okay, a commitment to growth and development. Got it, got it. Introducing our Chewy University Learning Academies. Our year in review. This is a long scroll. So here are some stats right here. An award-winning culture. So those are some things that they've been recognized for, some testimonies. All right, we're down at the bottom. Now we want to go to investor relations. And it looks like I don't see those links here. So let's go back. Go down to the bottom. Investor, nope, it's not here either. Let's go back one more time. Yeah, it's going to be at the bottom of this one. There we go. Investor relations. Take me off the screen so you can see it and we can go there. Here we go, investor relations. Let's get ready to wrap this website up. Zoomed in, got it, put me back on the screen. So 11.86 billion in net sales, corporate overview. We're gonna scroll over this page. Bam, we already at the bottom. look at the top, stock information. That's where we're going to go. So they have the stock quote, stock chart, historical stock quote. So they have other tools for investors. So let's go to stock quote. Here we go. Stock information. So that's that. There's the chart. And here's the other tools that they have. And you can even email them. All right, so we're done there. Let's go ahead and go to the research that I have for this company. So let's take care of that. Chewy does have customers and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include FedEx Corporation, ticker FDX, Zoetis Incorporated, ticker ZTS, and Merck, M-E-R-K, and Merck & Co. Incorporated, ticker MRK. All right. Now let's talk about this. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders can lose critical details and advanced platform features using apps on phones. Instead of software on computers or websites. So keep in mind, trading from a smartphone is usually the least effective way for managing assets. To access the most details, it's best to use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or TV, and only use a phone as a last resort. All right, now let's look at Chewy on the charts. Let's go to the charts. Bam. There we go. We got the right disclaimer up. No. There we go. All right. Zoom out. We can see everything without taking me off the screen, which is excellent. So we're looking at a 1-year daily chart, and we can see the 52-week high of $43.84, excuse me, and a 52-week low of $18.22. And it looks like they pretty much been on a downtrend all year. Okay. So let's go back and look at the 10-year weekly. Guys, okay, zoomed out. It goes back to 2019. So it doesn't go back a full 10 years. I would have to do some research to find out why. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got about a little over 7 years, just shy of 8, I believe. So that 8-year, let's just say 8. 8-year high of $120 and an 8-year low of $14.69. Now, this is what blows my mind. So 2020 was the COVID thing. I don't know if that had anything to do with this spike right here. Let me take me off the screen so you can see this on this chart. It went nuts in 2020. It's not moving. What's going on with my mouse? Oh, I know what's going on. Got it. Right over here. Went nuts in 2020. Do I have this loaded up? Guys, bear with me. There's something going on. Here we go. Went nuts. So this area right here is 2021, but this run started in 2020. Okay. And that's when they had that high of $120. And then it just was fading off since then. Just fading off. So it took 1, 2, 3 years. This looks kind of like consolidation. This seems sideways to me. And then I'm not really paying attention to this. It's like it fell out of the consolidation zone, but then it broke to the downside. And then it started consolidating again. It started moving sideways, found the bottom. So this was the end of 2023, the beginning of 2024, put me back on the screen. And then it broke to the upside. So it's been on a slow, like steady pace. But then in 2025, that's when it hit a high of, we'll get that number right now, $48.62. Since then, guys, it's on a downtrend. That's what I'm seeing. They don't pay a dividend. I don't see nothing down there about a dividend. And it looks like the EPS, now this is adjusted. The adjusted EPS doesn't look like it has dropped off. So we see 35 cents here, 33 cents, 32 cents. So that's declining. Then it went all the way down to 27 cents. And then the last earnings, it jumped up to 43 cents. Then back here, it was negative. So let's go ahead and go to the 1-year daily chart. Wait a minute. Yeah. Right here. This pullback right here, that pullback, I'm seeing that as resistance. And we can see that this week right here responded to it, that red candle there. Let me take this off and zoom in. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in. We can focus on this area right here so we can get some technicals. I already put the level there. So we can see that it was respected over here as support. Now we can do this as like a zone if we wanted to, but this line looked like it's clean enough to be able to do it. It held here as resistance. And then we have where it was tested in this range here. It held as support here. And then once it closed below it here, it became resistance again, and it failed to come all the way to it. And now it's fading off. So since that's the closest, let me just go ahead and put one more line here. This looks like that's another area of resistance to me. Let me show you what I mean. So right here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Put me back on the screen. This area right here. We can see multiple candles responding to that price level, as well as here. That's not blocking it. Here and over here. Even here. So those are some significant price levels. Now, here's what I want you to pay attention to too. When you see these numbers are real close to round numbers, you can think of them as like round numbers. So 29.82 is real close to 30. 39.60 is real close to 40. 48.62 is real close to 50. So psychologically, we respond to round numbers. So sometimes the stock or the security stops right before a round number. So pay attention to those levels and see how close they are to round numbers, okay? So let's go ahead and go to the 1 year daily chart. And now that we have some of our technicals done for our price levels, we can see how it's responding to them on the daily chart. So now we're looking at the 1 year daily. And since the price action is all the way down here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so we can focus on those levels. So immediately, so if you don't know what these are, this is a 9-day simple moving average, this dash green line. And I'm going to show you where we can find that at, just in case it's your first time tuning in. Right here. The green line is going to tell you 9, and it's programmed to the close. Then you have a 200, and it's programmed to the close. And then that's this dashed white line. So the information is up there at the top. And there's the dash green line. So this is the 9, and that's the 200. Those are simple moving averages. So the price right now is trading below the 9-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average. So I'm seeing that as resistance and that as resistance. But we notice right here, the 200-day simple moving average is near that price level we already have. So we can see that as one. I'm seeing that as resistance altogether because of how close they are to one another. Then you see this pullback right here. Well, you see a bounce here, and then this is the beginning of a pullback. So those both are going to be like price levels to me. So right here, you see 3 candles respond to that price level. And even today, the high tested it as resistance. Then when we go over here, these 2 candles responded to $22.74. Then when we look to the left, we can see these candles responded to it. These candles, this didn't come all the way down to it, but we can see that it came near it. So that's how we get in those technicals. Now, as far as the low, because that $18 is the 52-week low, there's a few things we can do. We can go back and we can look at the 10-year weekly and look for a historical low to try to find support. Look how far down that is. So if we use the 10-year weekly, I'm seeing this as a zone. There's a few, you can't see it because I'm covering it. Let me take me off the screen. My bad. Here we go. So there's a few different candles we can look at here. So if you look at this low, that's near where it found support at. Now we're looking for how many other candles are responding to that price level. And I'm seeing a few of them actually. You have these candles that responded to that price level. These candles, all those candles responded to that price level. And that's where it found support today, that 1824. So then the next price level I'm seeing is going to be, let me clear this off, down here. So that would be like 1676. And we can see other candles that responded to that. And then we have that 8-year low of $14.69. So let's go back to the 1-year daily. So now we can see those. So now we have support from the technicals, and we use the historical price data to be able to find those price points. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing. And now we can get the stock quote for Chewy. We can go ahead and move on. So go up here to the settings. Then we're going to cut on my floating data box. Bada boom, bada bing. And then we're going to get this stock quote. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Bam. Mouse over today's candle. So Chewy opened today at $18.80. They had a high of $19.42. They had a low of $18.22. And they closed today at $19.31, which was a trading range of $1.20. Now, when we look at the trading volume was 11.4 million shares of this stock was traded today. Now we need to find out what they trade on average. So we're going to take this floating data box off, take me off the screen, and we're going to look at my volume labels. So over here on my volume labels, the average daily trading volume for Chewy is 7.9 million shares in a daily trading session. Okay. So we can round that off to 8 million. So today was above average volume. And then we can see on Thursday, it was 15 million. So 15 million was the red candle right here. And then today's is the green. And guys, this is also a candle pattern. It's real close to a bullish engulfing pattern. Look that up. Okay. Let me put me back on the screen. You can look that up. So we covered that part of the volume. Put me back on the screen. Let's go. Let's go. Yep. It's not quite a tweezer's bottom, like it's real close, but look those two definitions up for candle patterns. Bullish engulfing pattern and a tweezer's bottom. All right, so the volume rank percentile out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 29 days had higher volume than today. And we can see that this green candle had less volume than the red candle day on Thursday, just to reiterate that. Volume rate percentile was 88.5%, which means today's volume was higher than 88.5% of the most recent 252 trading days volume. So that's actually pretty high. So even though, it looks like this stock doesn't usually trade above average volume, because this 11 is in the 88.5% percentile. And that's only what, 3 million shares more than 8. Yeah. So that stands out to me. All right, let's move on. We did it. We got Chewy out of the way. Now, back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys would share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description, as well as the ticker on the screen. Now, let's look at what the S&P 500 did today by looking at the CHWY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. All right, so let's go back to the charts. And let's go up here. First, let's put SPY on the screen. Let's put the right ticker up there. Bam. Go up here to the symbol box, SPY. Here we go. So the SPY closed today at $741.75. Take me off the screen. The 52-week low is $591.89. We got a few days until that rolls off, guys. Then we got the 1 year, the 52-week high, of $760.40. So we had talked about this, guys. We had talked about this. It actually came back up and tested that 9-day simple moving average. Okay, so now the more you watch these live streams, you'll be able to see. Now, different people use different time frames when it comes to these simple moving averages. My personal experience, I've seen prices respond more to a 9 and a 200. Some people use 100, a 50, a 30, a 20, a 10. Like you can set it to whatever you want. But me personally, I've looked at the different ones, and it's, to me, it seems to be more accurate with 9s and the 200. So we can see that it tested the 200 today. So this is the 9-day simple moving average. The high tested it, but it ended up closing below it. Now it did close above the high of Thursday's candle. Okay. And then that means it was able to recover all of the losses from this candle and this candle, because it covered both of those. And today's close penetrated some of the losses from this candle, and this candle. It recovered like half of these and more than half of this one because of how long that wick is. So I'm just walking through what I'm seeing, but it still hasn't recovered the 50% of this big red candle right here. And there's a tool we can use to find the midpoint of that. And I'm going to show you because I had looked it up. The Fibonacci tool. So if we connect this Fibonacci tool to the open, to the close, that was the close and the open of that candle, and we space this out, you'll see that 50% right there. That tells me that that's the midpoint of that candle. Let me pull this down. So that's a quick way for you to be able to find the midpoint of that candle without trying to eyeball it. Because last time, like earlier, what day was that? I don't know what day that was, but on the previous live stream, when we were looking at the S&P 500, I eyeballed the mid of that candle. And I was like, I need to do a better job because I know it's a tool we can use. So we can use the Fibonacci tool to find the midpoint of a candle, but you have to connect it to the open and the close to get the middle of the body. If you wanted to get the middle of the whole candle, you connect it to the high and the low. But I wanted to get the midpoint of the body. Okay, so let's remove that drawing because we already have a lot of stuff on here. Let me look and see. So this is all of our actual technicals right here. So let me zoom out a little bit, and then re-zoom in. So it doesn't look like we really need to put any more technicals on here. As you can see, it's a lot of lines on this chart already, but it's in between this range right here. We had a $735.53 and $743.46. So it's in this range right here. It's just trading in this range. So if it was to close above this 9-day simple moving average, this is another instance where you have two areas of resistance in the same spot. You have the 9-day simple moving average, and you had the $743.46 at the same price point as resistance. Okay. And then if it gets above it, I'm seeing this as a resistance zone, with the top of that zone being $749.23. And then the other price levels, as you can see, spread it out a little bit. So let's go ahead and get the quote for this ETF so we can talk about the volume and move on. So here we go. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I greatly would appreciate it. So here we go. The spot opened today at $740.71. They had a high of $744.44. They had a low of $735.03. They closed today at $741.75, which was a trading range of $9.41. Now, when we look at the trading volume, the trading volume was 57 million shares of this ETF today. Let's take off the floating data box. And I'm giggling because we talk about this every day. So the average trading volume, I know, is 74 million shares in a daily trading session. So let me show you that right here in the volume label. So the average volume is 74 million. So today's green candle was below average. It only had 57 million shares traded in this candle for today. And it's a lower volume than it was on this green candle. So on this green candle, the volume for that is right here, the 86 million. That's a huge drop. Even though it printed a higher candle, it was on lower volume. So that's, to me, that's bearish. That gives me bearish vibes. Plus, it still hasn't penetrated the midpoint of this big red candle. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing. Now, let me put me back on the screen. Let's talk about the rest of this volume. So with the volume rate percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 55 of those days had lower volume than today. So that tells us how low that volume is. We can even get a better idea when we look at the percentage. So the volume rate percentile was 21.8%. So today's volume was only higher than 21.8% of the most recent 252 trading days trading volume. That's low. So 79% of those days had higher volume than this. Okay. So that's what we're seeing with that. We did the volume, so we can move on. Show going smooth. I'm liking this. Let's move on. All right, now let's look at the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the day. But first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. So let's go back to the charts. And let's go over to, matter of fact, I want to make sure I got this set up right, guys. I'll bring you over to the charts. I don't want to spoil it. Okay, I did have it right. And here's an example for me to be able, this is going to be a teaching moment before we get into the biggest loser of the day, because I want you to check this out. You see this crazy loss right here? So if I didn't know better, I would have thought that KLAC, ticker KLAC, was the biggest loser for today. And they lost a crazy amount, right? They lost 89.45%. Guys, this is not right. And I'm going to explain this to you. When stocks do stock splits, it takes a while for the Thinkorswim platform to update. So what I do when something looks strange like this, what I'll do, I will go to Yahoo Finance. So let me blow this up, and then I'm going to show you how we do this. Okay. Let me look for it. All right, we go here, go there. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you how we do this. Pull this over. Got it. Go there, then we go to apps. We go to Yahoo Finance. Pull this down, close it, blow that up. All right, here we go. So you can see what I'm talking about. Yahoo Finance. Now, that ticker symbol was KLAC. KLAC. Guys, they were green today. You see this? That's the closing price, $254.54. So when we go to Thinkorswim, let me take Spire off the screen because we're not talking about that one right now. You see the 254.54? That's the closing price, but it's saying it lost 89.45%. The reason why is because they did a stock split today. So if we go back to Yahoo Finance, they actually were green on the day by 5.55%. So that's how I fact check that. So they're actually not the biggest loser. So I wanted to explain that to you because you like, that's not the biggest one. That's why. So the biggest loser of today is actually ticker STAS. They are the biggest loser today, and they lost 10.97%. The previous close was $128.13. They closed today at $114.08. And you know, we're about to do a hypothetical. So let's say someone invested $1,800 and they lost that 10.9%. So we're going to multiply that 10.97, negate it, hit the percentage, it turns into a decimal. So they would have lost $197.46 of their investment. We add the principal back to it. That's the $1,800. And that will tell us how much they would be left with. They would be left with $1,602.54. Bam. We already have SATS, SATS selected, which is EchoStar Corporation. Okay. And this is going to be very interesting. Okay, so stay with me. We go over to the Analyze tab and we can see that they are in the communication services sector. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the Market Watch tab and we're going to look at the heat map. We want to see how that industry and that sector performed today. That sector, that industry, and that sub-industry performed today. So SATS. All right, so we're in the S&P 500 index heat map, and we are looking for the communication services sector. That's right here. Bam. Now we're looking for SATS. It looks like they're down over here. Yes, they are. So that's in the wireless. No. What is that? Media. It says something about media. So this is the industry that they're in. They're in the media industry. Now we can see it's 4 sub-industries over here. Advertising, broadcasting, cable and satellite, and publishing. They're in the cable and satellite sub-industry. Okay. Now here's what makes this interesting, guys. This is a satellite company. SpaceX came out today, and Starlink is going to be a competitor of this company. So I think part of why they struggle today, because it's a lot of space companies and communication companies that had issues because people are trying to factor in how SpaceX are going to compete with certain companies. Okay, so that's something to keep an eye on. I know I tapped my head, but I'm saying thinking an eye, you know, you got it. So let's go back to analyze. Now I'm gonna take me off the screen. So we did the visualize to see how the sectors in the industries were. So take me off the screen. Here we go. So EchoStar Corporation, here's their website. Link to their website is also down in the description for your convenience. We're going to read a little bit of this description, and then we're going to go to their website. EchoStar Corporation provides pay TV services in the United States, Mexico, Canada, South and Central America, Asia, Africa, Australia, Europe, India, and the Middle East. They could have just said all over the world, and I would have believed them. That's a lot to read. Here we go. So let's go to the website. Let's put here we go, website. Put the ticker up, put me back on the screen, and then put the right disclaimer up here. Click, click, click. There we go. All right. So let me make sure we zoomed in right. Yep, we're on 150. So that's another thing that SpaceX and Elon Musk is talking about. They put satellites. That helps with communications. They talking about putting a data center up there and all different types of stuff. Okay. So we're going to browse over this website, and immediately I'm telling you, I love this website because everything we need is right here at the top. We're going to go to company. We're going to go to investors. We're going to go to careers. This looks interesting to me. So they say our brands. I didn't know. I think I know what Sling is. I know about Boost Mobile and Dish. I haven't heard of Gen Mobile, Usenet. And I think Sling is like a streaming service, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll check that out. Let's roll over the homepage. Transform connectivity, unlock your potential. EchoStar drives connectivity through networking solutions that help families and loved ones communicate. Help us change the way people keep in touch. Explore opportunities. Got different things we click on. A collective force redefining global connectivity. Boost Mobile. That is Sling. Okay. So here's the other benefit of looking at the website, guys. Now we know all of these companies deal with ticker SATs, EchoStar Corporation. You got Boost Mobile, Dish, Gen Mobile, Usenet, Sling. Got it. Our story. We might not even need to click on this other stuff. A future first vision for a connected world. With the mindset of an agile startup, our teams draw on 40 plus years of disruption to continually transform the way the world communicates. Remember, we have links down in the descriptions if you want to dig deeper into these things on the website. So you can click there, discover our story, news and updates. Sling, read more news, career opportunities. Our greatest benefit is opportunity. Step into a team where your growth is a priority and every connection counts. Got it. So you can explore careers there. And now we're at the bottom of the page. Take me off the screen. So right here, we have the investors. Careers is right here at the top. So we already saw the brands. They went into that. So we don't need to go into that. Let me see if they talk about their history here. So let's go to the history. Put me back on the screen. Our history, milestones that redefine the industry. So we just scroll down. I'm just going to scroll. I'll read the year. I'll read the headline. So 1980, where it all started. 1992, real estate and space. 1995, EchoStar, 1. 2000s, ahead of the curve. 2008, forging new paths. 2011, connecting the world. 2015, revolutionizing streaming TV. In 2016, publishing boundaries in satellite technology. 2020, revolutionizing wireless with Boost Mobile. 2023, taking connectivity to new heights. 2024, more powerful together. 2025, our story continues. Got it. Okay, so let's go to careers and see what benefits we can find, guys. Transform connectivity, unlock your potential. Welcome to EchoStar. Our team values curiosity, pride, adventure, winning. One vision, many brands. Discover your role at EchoStar in EchoStar's story. Explore opportunities, featured opportunities, installation technicians, in-flight connectivity. customer service representatives, sales representatives, build your future, find your next role. I'm looking for benefits, technology, opportunity. Here goes some stats. Patent program. They have a lot of patents, guys. So I don't know if that's intellectual property, but from the understanding of patents, they have the rights to certain technologies that where other companies needed to use them, they would get a percentage of that. I believe that's the understanding of it. Fact check me, look it up. An award-winning community. So those are some things they've been recognized for. I didn't see anything that stood out to me about the benefits, guys. So I see right at the top, they mentioned something about the hiring process. So I'm gonna click there and maybe they'll have something on there about the benefits. Our candidate promise, your path to join EchoStar, the application, how to ace your behavioral interview. Check your behavior. Are you on your best behavior? I ain't seen that before. Okay, candidate advice, stay vigilant in your career search. Frequently asked, all right, guys, I don't want to spend too much time on this. I didn't see anything that made it easy to find the benefits. So let's move on to investor relations. Remember, the links are down in the description for your convenience, for you to be able to dig through this. Maybe you'll find it. Maybe you'll do better than I did because I didn't see it. Go back to the home. There we go, investors. And of course, they opened it up on a separate website. So let me bring this over where you can see it. And we're gonna zoom in, put this back, bam, bam, and zoom in. Oh, 150. Yep. Okay. So they trade on the NASDAQ. There's the ticker symbol, which you already know. We have it on the screen. Here's the chart, which is extremely small compared to the other charts we've seen on websites, but at least they have one. Our brands, I'm looking up here to see if they got anything. No, they don't have anything up here. Stock information. I'm gonna click that after we scroll over the page. Maybe we'll look up and they'll blow this up, okay? Press releases, events, administrative inquiries. All right, we're down at the bottom. So let's go back to the top and see if we can get some better stock information views. So there's the stock quote. Here's the chart. Now I'm gonna chat with you while this is happening. So I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but I think they outsource the data that pulls the charts up on their website. And for some reason, that data has been coming to these websites kind of slow. So when we go to these different websites, sometimes the stock information pops up right away. And sometimes I have to talk to you guys just to burn up the clock a little bit. So you won't just be sitting there bored, to give it time to load up. So that's what I was doing. So there's the chart. Here's some other tools that they have. And now let's talk about the research that I found about the company. So we're done browsing over the website. So here we go. Go here. All right. Biggest loser, EchoStar. So EchoStar Corporation, ticker SATS, when it comes to their goods and services, they manage advanced satellite communications and wireless telecommunications across the mobile, consumer broadband, and global video entertainment markets, offering solutions such as complete video programming options, including direct broadcast satellite television networks and internet-based streaming content platforms for retail subscribers, scalable mobile communication products, including retail, wireless voice communications, high-speed nationwide data subscriptions, and connected smart devices. Last but not least, optimized broadband networking systems tailored for enterprise commercial communication loops, government satellite connectivity, infrastructures, and remote residential operations. Now, looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include Apple Incorporated, ticker AAPL, Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT, and Alphabet Incorporated, ticker GOOGL. All right, now let's go to the charts. We moving right on along. Go right here. We got that pulled up. Yep. Put the right disclaimer there. All right. Now to the charts, stats. Take me off the screen because I'm blocking a 52-week low. So we're looking at a 1-year daily chart. 52-week low of $16.73. Guys, they hit a 52-week high of $147.25. This was all in a year, in less than a year. We're about to get that data right now. So what I moved kind of quick. That's a Trendline tool on the Thinkorswim platform. I connected it to the low, the 52-week low, and I connected it to the high so we can see this opportunity. In that box, guys, that's less than a year. That's 338 days, 233 bars. Those are the number of candles. That was an opportunity for a 780.17% gain, guys. and you didn't have to catch, someone didn't have to catch the whole move, but that was the opportunity that was there in less than a year. Okay. Now this stands out to me. Okay. And I'm gonna explain what that is. I'm thinking really fast and talking kind of fast. So this is what's standing out to me. Let me remove this drawing. Down here at the bottom, this caught my attention. The EPS are negative, and then you got big negative numbers. But remember, this company didn't do a split. The other company was Clack. I would definitely look into that, because this looks weird to me. Something's off about these numbers. It's negative 51 cents, then it's negative $50.41. It's negative. That's crazy. I haven't seen any numbers that's that wide of a range like that when it came to the EPS. So I'm seeing, take me back off the screen. Let's go to the 10-year weekly chart, and then we'll come back to this. Oh my gosh. So their 10-year low was $9.53. Look at this, guys. So back here in 2016, they were trading around $40. So then they went up to around 60 something dollars in 2017. And then they had just been on a long-term downtrend. Oh, that would make me sick to my stomach. Just a long-term downtrend. It looks like right here, it was kind of moving sideways for a while, and then it dropped to a lower sideways. And then it broke out of that consolidation zone to the downside, and then it started a recovery. Then it pulled back again. Then it went up, down, and then up. It just skyrocketed into 2025. And you see how weird the EPS is now here at the bottom? That's what I was talking about. The numbers are like all over the place. So you have a bull flag here. Then you have a second one. Then it did a pullback and went up again, pullback and went up again. And now it's pulling back hard. Now we're looking at a weekly chart. This is a weekly chart, 10-year weekly chart. So that's what I'm seeing on the technicals. With the price being so high, like at where it is right now up in this area, there's no historical data back here to use as support and resistance. So we can just go ahead and focus on the 1-year daily chart. Okay, we can just focus on this and look for levels. And it looks really tight. It looks really tight when it comes to the support and resistance. So why isn't it doing it? It's taking a minute to load. Come on, give me the tool. There we go. All right, so support and resistance. I'm seeing it was finding support here. This doesn't, it kind of look, yeah, okay, we're good there. So it found, put me back on the screen. Put me back on the screen. Here we go. So we see it responding to that price level of $106.78 here. We see it holding as, where's this tool at? Give me a second, guys. So we see it holding as support here for a while. It was holding as support. And then today it came down on that low and tested $106.78 as support, pulling back from this 52-week high of $147.25. As far as support and resistance, it kind of looks like this is going to be a support zone. We can use the low of this candle right here. We'll use that one. So we can see that it was responding to that price level as resistance here, here. Yeah, that's another significant price level. I'm just going to expand. You can see it was all that area. So that's just a $10 difference. So you got how it was responding at $106.78. Then it was responding to $116.72. And then you have another price level that makes it even tighter. It's like different ranges. So right up here. So it was responding to that price level of $132.17 here. It held as resistance. Here it held as resistance. It got above it, but it didn't hold for more than 3 days. Closed above it, found it as support over here on these green candles. And then once this red candle closed below it, It hasn't been able to get back above it. And this red candle came back to test that area. That's what I'm seeing. So if it is to get above that 132, I'm looking for the next area of resistance to be I would say, yeah, it's weird, guys, because you got some candles over here that would make it tight, but it's more candles responding to like this price level here than it is up here because it's only 2 there. So if I was to put it's gonna be a tight zone. So let me show you what it would look like. It would be a zone. I would put it top of that candle, then like the top of this candle. So it'll be like a zone. So now I go to edit properties and I expand this over to December 1st. December 1st, expand it over a little bit to the left. So we'll go to January 1st. There we go. So that's a resistance zone because the price is here. So since the price is below it, that's my support and resistance that I'm seeing on EchoStar Corporation. So let's zoom in and get our stock quote. Oh, my. That's a big red candle. All right. So the stock quote for EchoStar, they opened the day at $131.13. They had a high of $131.22. They had a low of $106.56, and they closed the day at $114.08, which was a trading range of $24.66. Now, when we look at the trading volume, this is going to be interesting. The trading volume was 50 million shares of this stock today. Now we need to find out what the average trading volume is for this stock. All right. So we're going to take me off the screen and we're going to look at these volume labels. Let's take this floating data box off as well, because this is distracting when we don't need it. Immediately, guys, immediately, check this out. You see this high? And you see this volume right here? Do those match? 50, 187, 50 million, 187. So immediately, this is telling me that this is the high. Today's volume was the highest it's been out of the most recent 252 candles. So we're going to read all the way through that. So the average trading volume, let's start here, is 5.6 million shares in a daily trading session. So this is 10 times what it normally get if we round this down to 5 and we just focus on the 50. That's significant volume, guys. Significant. Then the previous volume, so this is the green candle. This is what I mean by looking at the volume. Don't just look at the candle. So this green candle was above average volume. So it looked bullish because it had higher volume than average. But then the red candle had even higher volume than the green candle. This was 3 times what it does on average. This was 10 times what it does on average. Okay, so let's put me back on the screen. Let's talk about this. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, none of those days had higher volume than today. Hence why today has that high, that red label tells you that today was a high. No days had higher volume than today. And the volume rate percentile is 100%. Because it was higher than the most recent, all of the recent 252 trading days. That's what we got, guys. So we have our technicals. We done. We looked at everything with that one. Now we can move on. Let's go to the biggest gainer of today. So let's go back to quotes. I'm going to clean this up before we go. So let's go to that. Let's go to analyze. We can take SATS off the screen. Let's do this. All right. So let's go to Market Watch tab. We want to go to the quotes sub tab. And now we're going to go to the biggest gainer of the day. So today's gainer, biggest gainer is ticker MOS, the Mosaic company. They had a gain of 7.59%. The previous close was $21.09. They closed today at $22.69. Let's go ahead and do our hypothetical. Clear this out. Let's say somebody invested $3,600. $3,600, that's 7.59% gain. So we multiply 7.59, hit the percentage and turn into a decimal. they would have gained $273.24. Add the principal back to it, $3,600. So the total investment would have grown to $3,873.24. Bam. Now we can go ahead and go over to the Analyze tab, and we can see that MOS, ticker MOS, the Mosaic company, is in the materials. That's interesting, the materials sector. So let's go to the Market Watch tab so we can check the heat map. Go over to the Visualize sub tab. We're going to go into the material sector. Now, the material sector is small, guys. It's down here in the corner. All right, so we're going to zoom in on that. Guys, immediately, this tells me that materials was banging today. Everything green. Let me tell you, this is why I like looking at the heat map. You saw how excited I got. This tells me immediately when I see something like this, that this could be an opportunity. This could be some money flowing over into this sector that people are not paying attention to. How all of the companies in that sector bang today? How? All of them? That might be some money flowing over into that sector. That's what I get from that. That's what I'm seeing in my analysis. So now we want to look at the industry, okay? So looking at the industry, it's not working. Come on. There we go. So MOS is down here. So this is the industry of chemicals. So we're inside that industry. Now we're looking for sub industry. Mosaic is over here. So that's the fertilizers and agricultural chemicals sub industry. So that's what we broke down. Okay. So we seen what it looked like on the sector level, the industry level, and the sub industry level. Put me back on the screen. And now let's go back over to the Analyze tab. The Mosaic company, here's their website. Take me back off the screen. I don't know why I keep doing it. So here's the website. Website is also down in the description for your convenience. So we're going to read a little bit of this description and go to the website. The Mosaic company, through its subsidiaries, produces and markets concentrated phosphate and potash crop nutrients. It operates in three segments: phosphates, potash, and Mosaic fertilizantes. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Here's their website. Here's the ticker. And here I am. And let's update the disclaimer. There we go. All right. So we're on the Mosaic website. And now I'm going to browse over the top. We're going to go to About. So right there, they had their principles. They have some awards, careers, and investors. Another website that made it easy, guys. I'm so glad, especially since this is the last company. So let's get it going. Let's browse over the website, and then we'll come back up and click on those. The Mosaic company, we help the world grow the food it needs. Our business, Mosaic Mines, produces and distributes millions of tons of high quality potash and phosphates products each year. Without fertilizers, the world's crop yields would be cut in half, and farmers around the world look to Mosaic to help keep their soils healthy, to nourish their crops, and to maximize their yields. I know I was stuttering a little bit, but hear me on this. I got excited. Going to these websites and reading stuff like this, so you're finding out how important this company is to their customers. This is extremely important to their customers. That's one of the things that I talk about at the beginning of the show. They need this for food production. And then something else that people don't know, you need food for the meat we eat. So it's huge meat farms for beef and cattle. They have to eat too. So they got to make sure that they got enough food for the food we eat to eat. Guys, it's big business, okay? So our responsibility from mind to market, we are working to minimize our negative impacts and maximize the value we deliver to diverse stakeholders around the globe. State of the business report, sustainability report, investors. Mosaic focuses on disciplined capital allocation and operational excellence to deliver strong financial performance and meaningful returns to our shareholders. Got it. Our products. From performance fertilizers designed to provide advanced crop nutrition to top quality commodity offerings, our products are optimized to take advantage of today's most advanced plant genetics, crop protection, and equipment technologies. Got it. Careers, committed. Remember, links to these websites are down in the description for your convenience. Bam, we down at the bottom of the page. I'm going to take me off the screen so you can see what's down here. Here we go. Their socials, the stock price, closing price, net change, and percentage change. Here's the net price change. Okay. All right. So let's go up here to about. We're going to go to our principles. So our principles, do they have a zoomed in where we need to be? Yeah, we're good. Put me back on the screen. Our principles. Let's go through it. Our mission. Here we go. We help the world grow the food it needs. Very simple. Our principles. These principles guide our decision making and actions individually and collectively, helping us deliver our mission. We are responsible, reliable, and future focused. Got it. Now, if you want to read this, let me take me off the screen so you can see it. You can pause the video and read it here, or you can visit the website. There you go. All right. So put me back on the screen. Let's move on. Let's go to careers. We're looking for the benefits. And let's just click on careers. Bam. Why Mosaic? We believe in growing our business by growing our people. Careers at Mosaic. Be part of an innovative industry. Co-ops and internships. Requests for reasonable accommodation. Mosaic is at the age of technological innovation in our industry. Okay, the Mosaic company. Responsibility at Mosaic means that we are doing our work ethically and transparently to meet the requirements of our key stakeholders. Paul Gill, here goes some stats. 250 acres of wetland reclaimed. Over 13,000 employees. Man, those are some stats. Some things they've been recognized for: equal employment opportunity. Guys, I don't see anything about the benefits. I wonder if you saw it, because I didn't. I didn't see it. Let's go to careers, employee features. I'm gonna click on that and see. Maybe. I'm browsing real quick. Yeah, guys, I don't see anything about the benefits. Ain't gonna hold up the show. Let's go ahead and move on. Investor relations opened up a separate website. I'm about to bring that over so you can see it. Here we go. Blow this up. Get this back. Get that back. Go over here and zoom in. Zoom in. Oh, we already zoomed. There we go. Investors. We're going to browse over this, and I believe... No, I don't see anything at the top we need to click, because we're already on that page. Okay, here it is. Stock information is down here. All right, so let's browse over this page. Here's the stock information over here as well. They trade on the New York Stock Exchange. I'm going to speed up and move a little bit faster. Browse over this page. Okay, we're at the bottom. We're going to go back. Now, we're looking for the stock quote and charts. So I'm thinking it's going to be under here, under stock information. There we go. Stock quote and stock chart. And it loaded right up. Thank gosh. Here's some other tools. And it looks like they do pay dividends. I thought I saw something about that. Investment calculator. All right, we're on the bottom. Now, let's talk about what I found in my research about the company. And then we can visit the charts. Here we go. The Mosaic Company, ticker MOS, when it comes to their goods and services, they manage concentrated crop nutrition and mineral processing across the agricultural, industrial, and global wholesale markets, offering solutions such as complete phosphate fertilizer options, including micro essential formulas and concentrated crop nutrients for worldwide agricultural distributors. Next, scalable potash mining products, including granular murate components, industrial rock salt, and animal feed ingredients for individual growers. Last but not least, an optimized international distribution systems tailored for bulk blending facilities, regional port terminals, and commercial bagging networks. Looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include Archer Daniels Midland Company, ticker ADM, Deere and Company, ticker DE, and Corvetta Incorporated, ticker CTVA. Got it. Now, let's go to the charts. Ticker, we got it on the screen. We're on the charts. Now, we've looked at this company before. That's why we have a price level there. So they have a 52-week high of $38.23. Now they have a 52-week low of $19.80, guys. So let's look at this decline. Trendline 2, 52-week high, 52-week low. That was a loss of 48.22% in less than a year. 234 trading days. Ooh. All right, now that looks like a Harami pattern, because it's not an engulfing pattern. but these two candles right here. And it might look like it's a tweezer's bottom as well. This would be like a bullish reversal pattern right here. These two candles. Look that up. All right. So what happened, what I'm looking at immediately, because we didn't even look at the 10-year. Let's get this out the way. Let's go look at the 10-year weekly chart just to see. All right. Okay. Yes, they have a 10-year low of $6.50. Now we know it's 10 years because it goes back to 2016. We have a 10-year high of $79.28. And that was a matter of 3 years. So it went from, oh my gosh, Trendline tool, guys. Let's see what this percentage gain opportunity was. Oh my gosh, over 1,000%, 1,112.78% opportunity in a matter of less than 3 years, because 3 years would be, I know it would be over 9 because 365 days are in a year. So 365 twice. So that's about 2 years, guys. If I'm not mistaken, that's about 2 years, a little over 2 years. And it was over 1,000% opportunity there. Wow. Okay. Now from that 10-year high, it's just been on a downtrend for the most part. Then it bounced here. So this is 2025 we looking at, and then it's been downtrending since. Okay. So even though it's trading around $22, you have a historical low in 2020 at this $6.50. Okay. So what I'm seeing, I'm gonna zoom in. We can remove this. And I'm seeing this as a zone. Actually, yeah, it's kind of weird, guys. This is wide. So right there, we seeing that it's a few times that actual price level of $17.22 was tested. These candles didn't quite come down to it to touch it. So this would make me think zone. But if you look over here, these candles did touch it. These candles did, and these candles did. It's just these funny ones right here didn't come down to touch it. This one did. Okay. Now looking for another area of support or where price was responding to a certain price level. Let me get the price level tool. I'm seeing this. Okay. Now with me putting that price level there, it's because I'm seeing these candles respond to it. It's a lot of candles over here responding to it. The red candle fell short, but this red candle and that green candle responded to that level as resistance. Okay. So that's $13.41. Now, based off where the price is right now, I'm not going no lower than those levels. So we need to go back to the 1 year daily chart. Let's go back over there. So we go back over to the 1 year daily chart and we're looking for resistance. So it closed above this area of resistance, which was the $22.33 that we had already put on the chart. So I'm seeing like over here, price level. That's going to be my net. I know that's tight. I'm admitting that's tight because it's only like $1 difference between the two. But I'm seeing that that was responded to a lot. It was responded to here, 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 and here. So then above that, I'm looking at this level. So these trading ranges in here are pretty tight. But that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing, that support and resistance. Now the support, because the price is up here, the bottom of these candles would be a support area as well, because it would need to break below those lows of $19.80. Okay. So that's our technicals for Mosaic. There you go. That I'm seeing. It was able to close above the 9-day simple moving average, but it still has quite a way to go to get up here to the 200-day simple moving average. But that's what we got. That's what we got, guys. Put me back on the screen. I did a lot of talking without me on the screen. But there we go. So let's just go ahead and do our stock quote. Let's pull up our floating data box. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you. So here we go. Mosaic opened today at $21.50. They had a high of $22.85. They had a low of $21.35, and they closed today at $22.69, which was a trading range of $1.50. Now, when we look at the trading volume, they traded 14 million shares of this stock today, but we're not impressed. We need to find out what the average trading volume is for this stock before we realize that that's a high or a low number. So take me off the screen. We're going to look at the average volume label. Here we go. So an average trading volume in a daily session is right here, 7 million. So today's volume was twice what they normally get. It was 14.2. What was the trading volume on Thursday? It was 12.5. So that means that the volume is increasing. So that was a red candle. Oh, it's acting crazy. Wait a minute. The red candle volume was the 12.5 million. Today's volume was the 14. Wait a minute. That's wrong. This green candle, that's Thursday's candle. This green candle was today's candle, which is extremely bullish because it was able to close above the 9-day simple moving average and that area of resistance at $22.36 and on higher than average volume. It was twice what it normally gets. So that's what we're seeing there. Plus, this is a bullish reversal pattern right here. That's a Harami pattern. Look that up. Tweezer's bottom, Harami pattern. All right, now put me back on the screen, and then we can wrap up this volume and wrap up the show. Here we go. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, only 7 of those days had higher volume than today. And I think that might be a gap moving kind of fast. That's a gap, guys. It almost got by me. That's a gap. Boom, boom. They stead that over. December 1st. Bam, 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 bam. Highlight that yellow so we know that that's a gap. There was no regular trading hours activity between that price level. And if I go here, you can see those price levels right here. Here's the bottom of the zone. Here's the bottom of the zone at $21.22. The top of that zone was $21.35. There you go. And you can use the price level tool to snap it to that and snap it to that, and then the price levels will show up on the left. Got it? So there's a couple ways to do that. Now let's finish the talk about the volume. The volume rate percentile was 97.2%. So that means that today's volume, this candle right here, was higher than 97.2% of the most recent 252 trading days volume. And I talked about they paid a dividend, which we didn't cover. So let me cover that before we move on. So go here, bam, 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 take me off the screen. There we go. So here's the dividend. They paid 22 cents, and it looks like they've paid it 4 times. So it hasn't went up. It hasn't decreased or increased. 22 cents, 22 cents, 22 cents, 22 cents. Got it. All right. We did it. Let's go back here. Oh, happy Friday to me. So let's go ahead and wrap up the show. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, June 14th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're reviewing this week's performance of the 11 sectors in the S&P 500 index, companies that stood out, notable market news, and performing a live Q&A so we can focus on building our community. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following the market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.